can you look at your business and say, my business is better for me having invested all this time growing my profile on X?
Yeah, like you said, I don't know if I could put a specific number, but I can say probably 5 years from now, my business will be 10 times better and larger because of the work I'm doing here on X. So,
okay, yeah. That's a legitimate answer. Yeah, that's perfect. That's Wow. Why? Why? Yeah.
Purely the connections. The people I'm meeting, the other laundromat owners, and focusing on that, helping people possibly open laundromats in the future. That is all on the table.
That makes sense to me. We talk a lot about going to trade shows on this show, conferences, the social aspect of business, for to put an umbrella term on it. And you're essentially saying the same thing here, that X is that sort of ongoing social platform that allows you to be more in touch with people either in the same business or that can help your business or that you can help, and that'll allow you to grow. Okay.
Right. Yeah. And there's a lot of things going on in the background I wish I could share today, but maybe we'll have to have another Business Brain podcast when we get to that point.
Well, but that comment in and of itself, and I know it sounds sort of coy and all that stuff, but I mean, these things happen in business. I just had a conversation before we had the show that I would love to talk about on the show, but I can't yet. It's way too early. It's how it works. We've all been there, and we will all be there many, many times over. So the fact that you are having those conversations because of the time you invested meeting people on X, as opposed to not as opposed to, but it related to the time that I might have spent meeting someone at a conference 5 years ago that I now just had a conversation with and might change the nature of one of my businesses over the next 6 to 12 months. It's the same thing. It literally the same thing. That's the interesting part. Yeah.
Yeah. I compare it to like what you said, going and meeting at events or conferences. I'm talking with 6 to 8 people weekly from DMs, from Twitter, from X, so it's like, imagine all the time, effort, and money you would have to spend to do that in person at that rate.
Exactly.
You just can't keep up. And that's why it's so valuable.
And it's a crazy filter, because these are people that are, in your niche already, that are looking at your content and seeing that you have expertise, and your credibility you already have. It's like a soft credibility, right? Because you're not pitching them anything. It's just like, this is who I am. This is what I do.
It's like you're speaking at a conference, right? Where people come up to you after you speak, and you don't have to tell anybody how great you are, because the conference organizers already did that, right? It like, that's the analogy here.
Yeah.
All right, you're selling me on spending more time on X, Shannon.
Dude,
I'm not happy
telling
about
you,
this.
I was on a podcast last week that's going to come out this week sometime.
Oh, amazing!
With Nick Tyler, who and he asked me the similar kind of thing, and how do you get involved in a business, and how do you know it's working, and what do you measure? And he's a super analytical, crazy spreadsheet guy, and I'm not. I measure the energy. In the beginning, you've got to give a lot of energy to make it go, and you're going, posting, doing all this kind of stuff, or driving your new business. But at some point, it reverses, and it gives you energy back. And I think probably, 4 or 5 months ago is when I started to feel the energy flowing back to me, the dopamine hits of the viral posts that we always joke about, but also that collaboration of people reaching out to me and in the DMs and phone calls. It's amazing, man. There's something going on there.
Because I think now, Shannon, you actually have more X followers than I do. I think you passed me. Yeah, no, I'm just shy of 7,000. I think you're just over 7,000.
Oh yeah, 7,200.
But I never worked to build a following on X. Those people just kind of came because of speaking at like all the other things that I've done. But I'm also a musician, and what you just said, Shannon, is what happens every single gig I play. The first few songs, we have to be the ones putting the energy out into the room.
Oh, yeah.
And then if you do it right, then the energy starts coming back from the crowd, and then it becomes this collaborative energy that hopefully lasts all night.
Yeah.
And now you're telling me I just got to do the same thing on X.
Yeah, you have to. It's pretty interesting. Yeah.
Dive in, Dave.
It's pretty wild.
I got to dive back in is really what it is. Yeah,
exactly.